Canelo says fighting Benavidez is a lose-lose situation. All right, let's take a look at this. It was tweeted by Michael Benson. All right. The source is Fight Hub TV, and we're going to take a look at the quote now. Canelo Alvarez has said he believes that the Benavidez fight would be a lose-lose for him with a rehydration clause. Quote, when I beat him, they're going to say, oh, they put that clause. It's a lose-lose situation. I can fight with any fighter and make good money, and I can do whatever I want. I deserve it because I did everything in my career. I deserve to be in this position, and I'm going to do whatever I want. Close quote. Now, I just would like to highlight a few things. Is one, he said it was a lose-lose situation to fight him with a rehydration clause. And then he stated if he does that and he wins, they're going to say, oh, he put that clause in. So it's a lose-lose situation. Now, it's being spun that Canelo has stated that it's a lose-lose situation to fight David Benavidez just in general, and that he can fight anyone he wants in his career, as he's going to duck David Benavidez, or he intends to duck David Benavidez. Not true. What Canelo said was if he beat David Benavidez with a rehydration clause, it would be a lose-lose because he wouldn't get credit for the win, because everyone's going to highlight the rehydration clause as the reason why he beat David Benavidez. So basically, what you can take away from that comment is if he ever fought David Benavidez, it would be pointless if he had a rehydration clause. That's what you can take away from that comment. Not that he would never fight David Benavidez. He goes on to say that he's earned the right in his career to fight whoever he wants, which to me is true. People don't answer the serious question, which is why did Canelo become undisputed in 1 year in the weight class that David Benavidez campaigned at for years with only one belt that he lost twice? If he would have kept that belt, then Canelo would have had to fight him to get it. If he was disciplined enough to make weight, if David Benavidez was disciplined enough to not test positive, if he was disciplined enough to not give drunk interviews, then he would have had his belt, and Canelo wouldn't have been able to collect it by fighting someone else. No one puts the onus on David Benavidez. No one holds him accountable for what he does. Even when I make videos trying to give advice, respectful advice, his fans are wild out. They're not even his fans, they're his fanboys, because as we already established, I am president of the David Benavidez 60 Club. As we know, David Benavidez is alleged to have sold 60,000 pay-per-view buys in his last fight. I purchased his last fight as well as the other fight, which is reported to have done less. So I would like to say that I am president of the David Benavidez 60 Club. I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to give the shout out right now. Salute to the 2 other fans who provided proof of purchase. I'm starting to question them 60,000 numbers because so far there's only 3 people who showed proof of purchase. So we have to audit David Benavidez ourselves. And I only know 3 people who paid to watch his fight so far. But I'm still going to hold on to belief that he has 60,000 people willing to pay to see him fight on pay-per-view. And I am the president of the 60,000. I've showed my proof of purchase. All the other keyboard warriors, put your money where your mouth is and shut the hell up. So, again, he never said he wouldn't fight David Benavidez. He just said that it's a lose-lose situation if he fought David Benavidez with a rehydration clause. But, of course, fanboys don't need reality to spin a narrative. All they heard was, it's a lose-lose to fight David Benavidez, and I can fight anyone I want. He's earned the right. In 1 year, he accomplished more in the super middleweight division than David Benavidez did in his entirety at the super middleweight division. And now he's going to fight someone at 175. Well, good. Because he's been a weight bully. And I done called Devin a weight bully too. He's been a weight bully. So go ahead, fight at 175. Go ahead. But the reality is, Canelo never said that he wouldn't fight David Benavidez, or that fighting David Benavidez was a lose situation. He said with a rehydration clause. But people spin the narratives. And again, what do we have here? We have someone who has English as a second language, someone who has gotten better at speaking English, but sometimes still needs translation, sometimes still has to speak Spanglish. You feel me? So then people just want to take little things and run with it. It's crazy. It's no different. But the reality is, he never said he wouldn't fight David Benavidez. Again, David Benavidez is another guy with questionable pay-per-view numbers. Let's see the real numbers. Release them. Release them. They don't release the numbers because as long as they don't show actual fact that the fighter you love, the fighter you fanboy for, is a flop at the box office. They don't want to show that. So as long as they don't show that, you can still live in a fantasy world. But to people who understand economics, business, and what this is all about, we know you have to have the numbers. If the numbers don't make sense, you can't make the fight because then the fight is going to be a financial loss. And no business person is going to support. As much as you people want boxing to be some moral thing like, oh, the best fight the best. And oh, it's business people who run boxing. It's the managers. It's the networks. They're not putting on fights just to make you happy because the best are fighting the best. They're putting on fights for financial gain. They're putting on fights to benefit. Say Amazon Prime wants to make money. That's why they partner with PBC. PBC has to make Amazon Prime money, or Amazon Prime is going to say, PBC, this is a bad investment. You can take your business elsewhere. They're not making fights just to make fights. And so I know what you're thinking. Oh, yeah, Canelo Benavidez, that's going to sell, right? Enough to pay Canelo? Because Canelo's contract is a lot. So you need to guarantee sellouts and you need to guarantee a certain amount of pay-per-view buys. I know you say, oh, but it's Canelo and Benavidez. So if Canelo can sell 700,000 pay-per-view buys fighting Charlo, and he fights Benavidez and they sell 900,000 pay-per-view buys, was that additional 200,000 going to be enough to compensate Canelo for the risk that he took? Because we all know the risk of fighting David Benavidez is much greater than fighting Charlo. So he fights Jaime Munguia. Let's say he does 700, between 700 to 1 million pay-per-view buys. 700,000 to 1 million pay-per-view buys. Can you prove, based on David Benavidez's unreleased pay-per-view numbers, which is an admission that it's bad, that he would have done more? He would have made more money fighting Benavidez than Munguia? That's what he's talking about. I can fight anyone and make good money because I am a superstar, because I am the attraction, because I am the draw, because as long as Canelo's name is on that banner, Canelo will sell. Why will Canelo sell? Because he's the one who had the balls to fight Floyd Mayweather. He's the one who beat some of the greats in the sport. He's the one who, since he was 15, was a professional building his brand. He's the one who made Canelo a superstar globally. So what he's saying is, my name is my name, and I earn the right to eat off of my name. David wants to eat off of Canelo's name. That's what this is all about, because he can't sell with Demetrius Andrade. He can't sell with Caleb Plant. He's undercard fighting Gadek. He's undercard. He needs Canelo to be relevant, and Canelo saying, my name is my name. Make your own, and then live off it. And keep my name out your mouth, like Subrio was trying to tell Devin Haney. So all I'm saying at the end of the day, is David Benavidez fans and Canelo critics are being unrealistic. because no one has accomplished more than he has in the sport of boxing and at his age. When you get to actually, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm sick of doing everything for everyone. Look at Bud Crawford. Look at his age. Bud Crawford is two-time undisputed in two different weight classes. No doubt about it. The only male to do that. But he's older than Canelo. Bud Crawford is actually older than Canelo. Look at Usyk's age. Look at Fury's age. Look at Canelo's age. That's how you'll be shocked to see how young Canelo actually is in comparison to all these other fighters, because that's how long he's been dominating the sport. And that's how young he's been dominating the sport so long, people forget he's actually young. When he was David Benavidez' age, he was so much more accomplished than David Benavidez. You work hard in a career so you can reap the fruits later. You work hard in a career so you can put yourself in a position where you do the jobs you want and you let go of the jobs you don't want. You put yourself in a career so where your expertise allows you to not have to work as hard as you did when you were young. Otherwise, what was the point in dedicating your life to a career? Even if you take any job, if you've done it for 15, 20 years, you move up. You get promoted. David Benavidez hasn't shown that grind. David Benavidez's best win is a guy Canelo knocked out and took the belt from, gave his first loss to. Benavidez went 12 rounds with him. His next best win is a guy who was good at 160, moved up to 168, and looked suspect in his two fights before he ever stepped in the ring with David Benavidez. What are we talking about? Canelo went in there, beat Callum Smith. Went in there, beat Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders. I'm not saying these guys are the biggest killers, but why didn't David do it first? Why didn't David do it in all his years? Why didn't he fight Caleb? Why did he wait till after Canelo knocked him out? Anyway, man, the people will create whatever they want to create. But like I said before, at the end of the day, if it all ended today, Canelo's a first ballot Hall of Famer. David Benavidez is not. And when Canelo was David Benavidez's age, if he stopped boxing then, he still would have been on the cusp. He still would have been borderline Hall of Famer. David Benavidez is not. These are objective standards. These aren't fanboy standards. These are true, realistic, objective standards. That's the difference between what I say and what fanboys say. All right. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm out. Peace.